I'm Casey Anderson, and this is little Casey, a cub whose career as an ambassador for black bears is just getting underway.
We'll see his first steps and discover the unique traits that made the black bear the most common bear in North America.
In today's Sidetracks, little Casey and a grizzly cub named Lucy will show the differences between black bears and grizzlies. They'll compete in the ultimate bear cub showdown. Then it's your turn to put on some paws and test your black bear foraging skills.
Remember, this is TV that you play. If you want to earn your black bear badge, shout out SNAP to take plenty of photos. Look for the Sidetracks and be ready to jump in and go wild like a black bear.
It's going to be a great time, so let's get going. Let's go.
Raising a grizzly bear has led me down a pretty wild path, from your typical father-son game of catch to seeing the real thing in the wild.
Look at the size of that bear. That bear is massive.
But now, I'm taking on another little project. I'll have to relearn everything I thought I knew.
Could use your claws up here.
But there's nothing small about my latest mission. I've worked with many ambassador animals like Attili the mountain lion here on the Triple D Ranch in northern Montana. So when they told me they were adopting a furry new friend, I couldn't wait to meet the new arrival.
Today is my lucky day. There's a new addition here at Triple D. A little 10-week-old black bear cub. Look at this little guy. He's just learning to walk. He's so small. Out in the wild, he wouldn't even be coming out of the den yet.
Since I'm going to be godfather to this orphan black bear cub for the next year, he's been given the name Casey Jr.
Now this little guy is making his television debut today. And he's gonna be an animal ambassador, and he's gonna teach the world about black bears.
Before Casey Jr. goes on to teach the world, I'm hoping he'll teach me a thing or two first. I have to start at square one, and this means plenty of good old-fashioned TLC.
So now this little guy's been all fed. It's time to see if he's learning how to walk. Ready to try walking, buddy?
Here we go. I'm gonna go over here. Come on, buddy. Come on. Good job. Oh, good job. That was good. Good.
Okay. Here you go, buddy. Back into your den. Oh, back into your den.
Casey Jr. and I have some important milestones to look forward to.
So it's been over a month, and look how big Casey Bear has grown. Everything is new. There's so much to explore and smell and feel. And something as simple as water is so interesting to them.
Natural curiosity at this age knows no bounds.
Yeah, bear wrestling, fun, huh? Great job. You found the first sidetrack. Today, we're gonna hang out with little Lucy the grizzly and little Casey the black bear, two ambassador cubs that were born at the same time last winter. Okay, naturalists, let's take a closer look at each bear's distinctive characteristics. Lucy is already showing her grizzly hump, the powerful muscles that make her a great digger. This is the cast that I made of a full-grown grizzly's front paw. Look at the size of those claws.
Casey's claws are short and curved, better for climbing trees, a strategy that black bears use often to avoid danger. And look at Casey's ears. A black bear's ears tend to be taller and less rounded than a grizzly's.
Let's take a look at how these two are measuring up as they grow. They're both getting pretty big. What do you think? Which of these cubs is about to celebrate its first birthday? Little Lucy the grizzly or little Casey the black bear?
Okay, for the option on the left, raise your left hand.
You're right.
For the
But
option
little
on the
Casey's
right,
not the only
raise
bear
your
with a
right
birthday
hand.
coming up. Remember, both bears were born at the same time last winter.
Now that you've got to know the cubs a little bit, do you think you can tell them apart with a close-up view? Which of these front paws belongs to little Casey, the black bear?
You need to raise your hand to pick a choice.
This little paw with the shorter claws is Casey bear's. His claws are shorter and better for climbing trees. Even though the bears are about the same age, you can already see how much longer Lucy's claws are.
Well, it looks like you're already getting a good idea the difference between a black bear and a grizzly bear. In the upcoming sidetrack, we're gonna test little Lucy and little Casey on their strengths in the ultimate bear cub showdown. You won't want to miss it. Are you ready for that? Okay, let's go.
Let's get back to the show. Casey Bear is just 1 month old, and it's time to start teaching him how to find food. Just as I expected, the instinct to climb is there from the start. But Casey Jr. might need a little practice.
So little Casey's gone from walking, he's tried a little bit of swimming, and now one thing that's essential for a black bear is climbing. And this log laying here and him balancing on it is really just baby steps, but baby steps in the right direction. Just like when I watched Rosie teaching her little cubs to climb on the logs.
Rosie was one of Yellowstone's most seen and most loved black bears. One summer, I watched as she raised 2 yearling cubs. She was a model omnivore, eating everything from field grasses to roots, nuts, and berries. But she also revealed why black bears are often called opportunivores. When opportunity knocks, or in this case, crawls, black bears know how to answer it, feasting on the ants, beetles, and grubs inside these rotting logs. Casey Jr. seems to have this technique down, all on his own.
What do you smell down there? I don't smell anything. You have a better nose than me. He knows there's bugs in there. You just got to figure out how to get them out. And this is a time when Mama Bear out in the wild would come over and show him. There you go. You smell it? There's been plenty of times I've been out watching Mama Bears trying to teach their cubs how to do things. And the cubs have other ideas, and all they want to do is play and explore. I think that's what he wants to do.
Earlier in the show, you took some photos and snapshots. Now it's time to see them. Fantastic photos. Good job. Now it's time for a fun fact. Okay, let's continue.
Black bears are amazing foragers. I guess you have to be if you're trying to feed a bear-sized hunger one little ant at a time. Now it's your turn. Scratch at the logs and eat as many ants as you can. Look at all those ants. All right, ready? Stand up and let's chow down.
Ready to go? Raise your hand above your head. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Scratch the tree branches to release the ants. Eat as many ants as you can. Great job eating those ants. Fantastic. Scratch the branches to release more ants. Hang in there, we're halfway. Keep digging out those ants. Keep at it. Once you've eaten all the ants, scratch the branches to get more. Eat up all the ants. Last 10 seconds. That's time. Check out your score. Two stars, way to go. What do you want to do? Back to the show or play again? More show coming up.
Wow, you ate a ton of ants. Looks like you're developing the same taste as a bear. Black bears are omnivores, which means they pretty much eat anything. Even so, their diet is mostly grasses, roots, berries, and insects. We better get back to finding black bears. There's more to learn.
Living in the moment is what black bear cubs do best. Summer in the Rockies is in full bloom, and so is Casey Jr.
So it's been a couple months since the last time I hung out with little Casey, and you can see he's grown a lot. Come here, buddy. Out in the wild, a little cub at this age, they're learning so much, but Mama keeps them pretty busy, so they only have a little bit of time to play. He's definitely turning into a little black bear. Starting to grow into his ears a little bit. His hair coat color's more typical of a black bear. He's just getting big. And it's just amazing how much he'll actually grow over the next few months. And all that growth comes from eating a lot of food.
Casey Jr. has it good. He's growing at nearly double the rate of a wild black bear. In the wild, only half of black bear cubs will survive their first 6 months. But if they do, they can reach 300 pounds by their 3rd summer.
Oh, boy. Won't be too much longer and you won't be able to do this. You'll squish me. We can't just roll around in the meadow all day, even though I kind of love it.
Life as a black bear isn't all about stopping to smell the flowers. We've got work to do. I think it's time Casey Jr. took his first wild bear test. Because a good ambassador animal doesn't just look the part. Over the years, I've taught Brutus to catch fish like the salmon-eating bears of Alaska. He's even learned to wrestle like a wild bear with his buddy Jake. But I've never tried this with him.
We got some adventures in store today, bud. Some big adventures.
First, Casey Jr. needs to fuel up.
It's all yours. Come up here. There you go. What a good boy. Your bottle sure got bigger. I got a big surprise for you today. Something that every bear loves. Now that you're a big boy, I'm gonna teach you about the birds and the bees. Now you've got this fur coat for protection, but I don't, so for today's adventure, I've got to suit up here. And then I'll lead the way, and you can follow me, okay?
Today, Casey Jr. will build on his newly formed climbing skills. Because it's not only a way of avoiding trouble, It's a way of finding it. And this looks like the sticky cut.
This is way more than just a balance beam. I got an awesome adventure for you up here. Come on, let's go check it out.
Even though black bears are equipped with a sting-proof fur coat, they have their weak spots, like their nose and paws. And after a few little stings, Casey Jr. looks to me for guidance. But the proof is in the pudding. I'll need to get some of the comb down here to show him the value of all this hard work.
All right, I make you a deal. You want to hang out down here, I'll go raid the hive and come back, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Could use your claws up here. Oh, yeah. Look. See, out in the wild, bears eat more than just the honey. They eat the bees, their babies, the honeycomb there. That's the good stuff right there. That makes it worth every sting.
It's a myth that bears are just after the honey. The real caloric punch is in the brood, the larvae and the young bees still developing the honeycomb.
You got a little bit to learn about being a big bear, but I think you did all right. Yes, I did.
That was a great attempt at snapshot. You didn't quite get all of them, but let's see the photos that made the grade. Fantastic picture. It's time for a fun fact. Okay, on with the show.
Everybody knows bears love honey, but that's only half the story. They also love the honeycomb and the tasty bee larvae that live inside. Altogether, it makes for one sweet, high-protein snack. Now use your nose and your paws to break open the beehives and get to the good stuff inside. Of course, you'll have to deal with swarms of bees. Ready to go? Stand up and let's do this. You ready?
Ready for a one-player game? Raise your hand above your head and we'll get started. 3, 2, 1, go! Smack the hives to release the honeycomb. Put the honeycomb in your mouth. Watch out for the bees. Don't let them sting your face. Use your paws to swipe at the honey-covered hives. Yum, that honey sure is tasty. Nice dodging. Keep avoiding the bees. Go after the hives with the honey. Hit them with your paws. Good job gobbling up that honey. Keep an eye out for the bees. All right, keep ducking those bees. Go for it. Use your paws to hit the hives with the honey on them. Keep gobbling up that honey. 10 seconds, counting down. Okay, time's up. Let's see how you did. Hey, you'll do better next time. You want to play again or head back to the show? Let's get back to the show.
Great job. Way to keep those bees from getting between you and a sweet snack. Now let's get back to the show. I can't wait to see what else the black bears have in store for us. What do you think, little Casey?
Here at the Helena Wildlife Center in Montana, It's time for an introduction to black bears 101.
So tell me a little bit about the facility and, how unique it is, the fact that these guys actually get to go back in the wild.
These bears come to us as either orphaned bears or as injured bears. And this facility is really unique in the sense that these bears are all meant to go back out in the wild.
So your facility is giving them a chance. Without this opportunity, they wouldn't have survived.
Absolutely, Casey. There's no way that these bears would have made it out in the wild.
Because these bears will head back into the wild, it's important that they retain the instincts they'll need to survive. And these cubs are showcasing one of the most fundamental attributes that define life as a black bear.
Well, one thing that a black bear must know to do to survive is climb trees. And from a very, very young age, they have the ability to climb to the top of any tree. This little guy, a little nervous that I'm in here. Give me a little woofs, and but being just like a wild black bear. Well, the last thing I want to do is pet one of these bears, because these guys are going back into the wild, and as much as I want to interact with them, I can't, because it's a healthy fear of humans for these guys is essential for their survival.
Instead, I'll stick to mentoring my young ambassador, Casey Jr.
You found the last sidetrack. Way to go. We've been exploring the differences between grizzly bears and black bears with a lot of help from our cubs, little Lucy and little Casey. But they have some more challenges. First up, let's see how fast they are. Grizzly bears and black bears can run faster than humans, so you never want to run from a bear in the wild.
An adult grizzly running at a sprint can usually outpace a black bear.
At this age, it's hard to say which cub is faster, but we're gonna find out. Who do you think's gonna win the race? Little Lucy or little Casey?
Raise your hand to choose.
All right, here we go. It's time for the big race. Little Casey is on top of the screen, and Lucy's down below. Wow, little Casey had a great run, but it looks like little Lucy is already growing into her grizzly speed. This race is a great reminder that bears are really fast.
Both little cubs are approaching their first birthday. And for the final challenge, we're gonna celebrate. I've got them 2 piñatas. I'm gonna stuff them full of goodies, hang them from a tree limb, and it's gonna be your last chance to guess which cub will tear into their piñata first. Think it'll be little Casey, the black bear cub? Or do you think it'll be little Lucy, the grizzly cub?
Are you ready to choose? Raise your hand.
At first, both Casey and Lucy look a little timid. Maybe they're scared by these colorful piñatas. But they're not shy for long.
Yeah, that was good. Get it.
Little Lucy starts taking some big swipes, while little Casey looks for a weak spot.
There you go. Good job. Oh, you got it.
It's too close to call who got into their piñata first, but I can tell you this. You give 2 hungry bear cubs piñatas full of good things to eat, and everybody's a winner.
The little cubs had a blast today, and you got to learn the difference between a black bear and a grizzly bear. You've got one more challenge coming up a little later, but first, we better get back to the show.
I'm going to help little Casey Bear put on some weight for the upcoming winter.
Look at how big you've gotten. You're literally 20 times bigger than when I first met you. Big challenge today. No bottle feeding, no bringing the food to you. It's time to be a big bear. You ready? Come on, I'll show you. Choke cherries. Bears are supposed to love these choke cherries.
Casey Jr. doesn't take long to express his opinion.
This is the most important meal of the year. You gotta fatten up on these berries because you're gonna be hibernating for half the year, so you gotta get really, really fat.
Over the course of the winter, a black bear can lose 25% of its total body weight. They need to store significant fat reserves before hibernation. It's a biological process called hyperphagia. Casey Jr. seems like he's got the idea, so I prepare him a suitable finale.
Over the last year, little Casey has won over my heart, and the key to a bear's heart is food. So today, I got him a big meal. Little Casey, I got a treat for you. Come here, buddy. Look what I got for you. Check this out.
Casey Jr. bounds over. But suddenly, the crew erupts in a panic.
Yeah, stay away from that spot. It's a good-sized snake, too. Hey, will you leash him up? There might be a snake right here.
Oh, what?
So, when you're on set, sometimes there's unseen hazards. We've all heard of a snake in the grass. Look at this guy. Beautiful. And not just any snake, but the only venomous snake here in Yellowstone country. Let's see if I can get him up out of here so you can get a good look at him. But right here is one animal that you don't want to step on. An animal that's essential to this ecosystem. Why most people don't like them, I love them. And this guy right here, I'm gonna move off set and put in the hills behind me.
The snake's safely in the bag, and Casey Jr.'s able to get back to the finer things in life.
We have had one amazing year, haven't we?
It started with a simple walk that turned into a climb. Then we moved on to water. But most of all, we learned how to eat in every way imaginable. And what a difference a summer makes. From a tiny cub to a strong subadult, ready to take on the world. Casey Jr. is well on his way to becoming an ambassador bear and teaching the world from Yellowstone to Maine all about black bears. Given how much the camera loves him, don't be surprised if you see this face again.
Earlier, you went a little snap happy and took some great pictures. Now, let's see what you got. Those are amazing shots. Here's a fact about this assignment. Okay, let's move on.
All right, it's time to put all your black bear skills together for the ultimate challenge. Go after the beehive and the ants, but keep an eye out for the bees. Get enough to eat, and you can let loose a black bear roar. Everyone in the room should join in when it's time for that roar, okay? Stand up and let's go. Three, 2, 1, go!
Scratch at the branches to dig out the ants. You've got to eat the ants before they escape. When a hive has honey, swipe at it. Stay away from the bees. Use your paws to swipe at the honey-covered hive. When you grab a honeycomb, put it in your mouth. Don't stop eating. Halfway through. Eat as much as you can. You can do it. Keep on feeding. 10 seconds left. Time's up. Let's see the score. One star. Not bad. Want to play again or go back to the show? Ready for more show? Let's go.
Wow, you were a fantastic black bear. But we better check with the expert. What do you think, little Casey? I think that means he approves. Great job.
I've got one last chance to get close to this group of black bears before they disappear into the wild.
So, Thomas, I've come back 6 months later for a big event. Tell me what's going on today.
Well, today we're going to release 4 of our bears. Those bears have been with us since spring, and they are the young of the year. Hopefully this is the last time we're going to see these bears.
Very cool. So we should go release some bears in the wild.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Go.
It's been a long road back to the wild for these cubs. And with a little luck, they'll thrive in the Montana wilderness.
So we've driven the bears over 100 miles to release them. So what's the plan next?
Basically, we'll use a winch to control the door. The door will come up, the bears are going to run out, and then they're going to jump into the cover as quick as they can so they have that security cover. And what I'm hoping is they're just going to run down this old skidder trail here, and they're going to find those clear-cut slash piles in the next day or two, and they'll go to bed.
As the cubs take their first few steps back into the wild, it strikes me that these are not ambassador bears. They are wild animals. And the rest of their life, they'll be blazing their own trail, like most black bears, far from human eyes.
Black bears are really amazing creatures. Similar to grizzlies in so many ways, and yet very different in how they live in the wild. I'm glad we got to learn about them today. Let's see how you did.
Those Go Wild games can be pretty tough, but I know you'll do better next time. You've earned the Silver Black Bear Invasion Badge. You're a solid naturalist.